it's like exercise. Like if you could walk around the block once a day, that's a huge step forward. You don't need to run a marathon.
Totally. Kate, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
We're so excited to have you. We've got a ton of questions. Really want to learn from you how to save money. Let's start with a softball. For those who are just getting started on their savings journey, what are some easy ways for them to begin?
Yes. So number one, make sure that you have some auto save feature going so that a piece of your paycheck every month goes to a savings account. Number two, set a savings goal, whether that's $10 a month, or in my case, I like to do 3 to 6 months of income just to be safe. Set it and forget it, and set a target.
It's kind of like paying yourself before paying for clothes at the mall or
Yes, exactly.
anything else you like to spend on. These days, saving doesn't always have to mean going the traditional route, kind of the typical way we've always thought of it, traditional bank account, checking, savings. How did you navigate your options when you first started saving?
So I wish I could say I navigated them perfectly, but that would be a lie. I honestly, up until like 3 years ago, I was still in the checking and savings account that I opened when I was in college. Inertia set in. It was easier not to do anything. And
I don't think you're alone there.
I know. And then 3 years ago, I looked into, hey, there's these things called cash management accounts. They can give you a higher rate, and they have a ton of the same features, or can have a ton of the same features as a bank account. And so I started saving in a cash management account. That meant that the money that I was putting aside, it was getting a little more return. And so when I was saving up for a target, I was hitting it sooner, which was awesome.
Sounds like music to my ears. All right, let's do a little bit of a lightning round.
Okay.
Saving is easier then. I'm going to list a couple of different things. You'll tell me if you think saving money is easier than these things.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah.
Making a 3-point turn in an 18-wheeler.
Yes, but honestly, for me, it's probably easier than making any sort of 3-point turn.
I think about my driving license test and it just brings me back. What about comprehending time travel?
Given, I have 2 kids and a husband, so 3 days ago feels blurry. 3 days from now feels blurry. So comprehending time travel, I would say savings is definitely easier than that.
All right, this one is actually near and dear to my heart because I just did it in my new apartment, setting up Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I think savings is easier then. You can set it and forget it. You have your goal, you just check if you're on track to hitting it. The Wi-Fi, you've got the passwords, and then it's a router working, and it's a whole thing.
So complicated. All right, let's bring it back to the financial realm. Saving money, is it easier than doing your taxes?
I would say yes. It also usually leads to some sort of fun outcome, whether that's potential peace of mind that you have saving for a rainy day, or if you're saving for a dream vacation, or just knowing that you have enough stored away, in my case, for my kids' summer camps. I would say taxes, that's just a complicated process. That's not always fun to do.
All right, so we think about saving, but we also hear a lot about investing. Are you able to explain some of the key differences between saving and investing?
Yes. So the mental model in my brain on this is, 1, savings is for a finite goal. So your emergency savings, it could be for, again, a vacation. It's a set amount of money that you're putting aside for a finite goal that's in the short-term-ish future. Investing, you're saving for the big 2. Usually most people are investing for retirement or their kids' education. In that case, you want to put it in a vehicle that probably has a little more risk, but is going to get you a little more return over the long haul. So it's getting you on the path to retirement, or getting you on the path to save for your kids' college or even high school. So that's sort of like the mental model. Savings, finite, short-term-ish, investing, long-term, retirement, and education if you can.
Really helpful breakdown, because I think sometimes people can just get so tripped up in all these big words and what does this all mean? And so that breakdown really, really helps.
Yeah.
For someone who maybe I'm talking about that might get tripped up, is just starting on their financial journey, what's the smartest way to put a kind of lump sum amount of money to use? So you get something in a job bonus, or you get your tax return even. We were just talking about taxes. How can you be smart about using that?
So a lump sum is an awesome way to jumpstart savings. So that first bonus you get, or first big gift you ever get, that lump sum can be a way to set your foundational finances in order. By that I mean you can do one of 2 things if you can. 1, start to pay down your debt. So you're not paying interest and interest and interest on your debt. You're starting to pay it off. It's not as fun, but it will be fun in the future when you're paying less. Second, start your emergency fund on a rainy day. You lose your job, your car, you're in an accident, unfortunately. You have a big medical expense. You know that you have a set amount of savings aside for when that hits, such that you don't have to engage in more expensive ways of paying down that expense.
You think about those emergency funds, savings, those emergency situations you're talking about too. You're already so stressed.
Yes.
If it came out of nowhere, the last thing that you want to also be thinking about is how to deal with that financially. It can really lift that burden. Let's maybe break that down a little bit more.
Yeah.
How can having an emergency fund actually save you money in the long run?
Here's the thing. When a big expense hits, so I talked about a car accident, could cost you $1,500 to $4,000. In my family, we just had a big medical expense hit. It was up to $5,000. If we didn't have our emergency savings, what are the two things we would have to do? We'd have to either use a high interest credit card, or we might have to dip into our 401k. All of that comes with extra expenses, whether it's interest, fees. It can come with all these sorts of other hidden charges. We want to avoid that because we want to be able to deal with life's curveballs with our emergency reserves. It's a much more effective way and reduces a ton of stress for you when you're going through something like that.
Absolutely. You mentioned credit cards. I'd love to play a little game, cash or credit. I can list a couple of different things and see if you should pay for it in cash or with the credit card.
Yeah,
Play.
let's do it.
All right, I'm going to start with the list. You tell me cash or credit.
Okay.
First, your groceries.
Credit.
Why credit?
It's an easy day-to-day expense, and you start maybe, putting some things on your credit card. Maybe you get some rewards in return.
All right, your dream vacation.
I would say cash.
Why cash?
It's a finite, kind of big expense. You save away for it for a little bit of time. It's short term, but can be big. I'd put it on your cash management such that you pay it off and you can have peace of mind when you're on vacation.
Where would you go on your dream vacation right now if you could go anywhere?
My dream vacation right now, I think I'd love to go to Europe if I could.
Sounds amazing. What about dinner and drinks?
I would say credit. Easy, just swipe and go.
Seeing a movie?
Stay with credit.
College tuition?
Neither. I would say consider a 529. You can start saving in a tax-efficient way for your kids' education.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
When we think about saving for bigger purchases, dream vacation, things like that, what are some quick and easy decisions that can help someone get off on track on the right foot?
Big purchases. Think about your first house, a big vacation. For me, most recently was a home renovation. So first, set a clear goal. You know what that target number is. If you have a clear goal, you can start, sort of saving towards it step by step. Second, little steps make a big difference. So every week, every month, what are you going to set aside for that goal? It can be as small as $10 a week, if that's what you can do. Or it can be, okay, let me push past my $2,000 minimum in emergency savings. Let me get to my 3 to 6 months of income. Or let me get 50% towards my goal of mortgage, vacation, whatever it is, this year. But clear goal, start small, and then keep working away at it.
And what about those who are starting from zero? Can be intimidating, a little scary to get started from scratch. What tips do you have for them?
It can be paralyzing when you don't know where to start. It's a lot like starting an exercise routine. You're not going to start by running a marathon. The best way to start is consistency. Walk around the block every day, just once. And I would say the same goes for savings. You want to have consistency, small steps at a time. So even if it's just saving $5 to $10 each week into your savings account, that can make a huge difference. Maybe you give up your fancy coffee once a week and you put that little bit of dollars into your savings account.
Great tip. Hard to do, but I think I can start to make a vanilla latte at home.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Before we wrap up, what advice do you have for someone who wants to take their savings to the next level?
2 things. Make sure that your savings are an account that has all the features you need, but also is giving you a good return on your investment. A lot of times, a cash management account can give you 8 times the national savings account rate. And so why not consider that for your savings? But second, have your target. Set your goal and make sure that you auto set it such that your money is going towards your savings without you even having to think about it. It makes life a lot easier.
Fantastic tips. So many helpful insights from you today. Thank you so much for talking to us. It was so great to have you here.
Thank you.
And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Until next time, stay savvy with your savings.